Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, knowing that you have a duty to do, but wanting to go back to sleep, putting on your freshly pressed uniform, grabbing your campaign hat, walking out the door, knowing that you're going into work for something very important. You get there, you stand there and you wait patiently. You're waiting on a white bus full of 60 civilians that decided to sign up and join the greatest Air Force in the entire world. You know that as soon as you see that white bus pull up, while you're standing underneath the orange lights, that they're all going to be looking at you, that they're going to be expecting perfection. You get on the bus, you start yelling, and it's 8.5 weeks of training started. Hi everyone, my name is Ryan Willoughby, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about what it's like to be a military training instructor. Some of the different things that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to go over some of the different hardships that you must endure to actually be a military training instructor. I'm also going to go over some of the different aspects of the job that you all probably don't know about. Also, at the very end, I'm going to talk about the joy and satisfaction that you actually get out of doing this job each and every day. Now, how many of you have ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket? Well, everyone relates that movie to what a military training instructor is supposed to be like. But I can tell you that just by watching that movie, that you do not see the whole life of actually being a military training instructor. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Every single day we wake up at, I wake up at 03:30 in the morning. I put my PT gear on, and when I go out and do PT. Now, the trainees have to do PT every single day, so it's service before self, one of our Air Force core values. So every single day we wake up and our training day starts at 04:45. The trainees wake up, we go do PT, and we train for the rest of the day. And usually I don't get home till at least 2100. Now, you're probably thinking those are some crazy hours, but when you're training all day and you're working hard, you don't even realize that you were there that long. Some of the other things that we do for our job is drill and ceremonies. Drill and ceremony is a very important part because at the end of this 8.5 weeks, your trainees are going to be expected to be perfect. Their families are going to be looking at them, and they're going to want to see a change in their sons and daughters. Not to mention the fact that they're going to go out to their technical training schools and they're going to be expected to perform a very stressful job being a United States Air Force Airman. Other things that we do, other things that are hard on us are all the different things that come with the job. All the different extra duties that we do. So at the end of the day, we are performing this job to the best of our ability. Now, just like with any other job in the Air Force, there's always a behind-the-scenes type work. Now, some of the different aspects of the job are actually we do a lot of administrative work that you all don't see. So, when we're sitting there in our flight office, which is the office that the trainees come to, usually we're not just sitting there doing nothing. We have so much administrative work that we actually have to perform. And we have to keep up with. We have to keep up with all their medical appointments. We have to keep up with all their classes. We have to make sure that they are getting the training that is expected. And we are under constant scrutiny on actually performing and training them correctly. Because, like I said, at the end of this, they're going to be expected to go out into the United States Air Force and perform and go off to Afghanistan and perform under extreme pressure. So we must indoctrinate them into the Air Force correctly. Each and every day also we do inspections around the dormitory. We make sure that all their items are inspected in inspection order. We make sure that their drill and ceremonies is on point, and we make sure that they get to and from their appointments appropriately. Now you're probably thinking in your head right now, this is crazy, working that many hours, but at the end of this 8.5 weeks, there is some joy and satisfaction that you get out of training these trainees. You spend 8.5 weeks with them, you get to know them, you train with them, alongside them every single day. So at the end of 8.5 weeks, when you go out when you take them out there to graduate them, you feel like that those are your kids. after 8.5 weeks of putting your life and sacrificing your family time, the joy and satisfaction that you get out of watching them get their airman's coin is just like when you got your airman's coin yourself. And the airman's coin signifies you becoming an airman in the United States Air Force. And there's also a graduation ceremony on Fridays that you go to, and you actually march down the bomb run, and all their families get to see how hard they've been working and in their blues for 8.5 weeks. So the joys and satisfaction of training airmen, turning civilians into airmen, giving them careers, giving them a new life, changing them, it's not matched in any other job. So at the end of the day, being a military training instructor is very hard. You are under, like I talked about, some of the different hardships of the job are the hours. You're constantly working and trying to juggle different things. Some of the different aspects on actually performing the job, you're working all the time. And the joy and satisfaction that you get out of actually training the trainees and having them graduate. So in conclusion, life of a military training instructor. Hard, but rewarding. Now, at the end of the 8.5 weeks, you stand in that same spot where you picked them up, and you're shaking their hands, and you're sending them off to tech school, knowing that you spent your last 8.5 weeks training them as hard as you possibly could. That is the life of a military training instructor.